Welcome back, True Seeker. In the headlines, Kim Kardashian named GQ's Man of the Year. And if you read the article, you'll see that this GQ edition, it's dated November 28th. And recall last year you had the Balenciaga lawsuit, if I'm saying that right, that was connected to Kim Kardashian. I heard other people just pronounce it Valencia. But that lawsuit was November 28th. And then the year before that, you had Virgil Abloh die at a young age, who's connected to Kim and Kanye. And, once again, we're going to be talking about Kim Kardashian in a big way on November 28th because she was right at the center of that whole lawsuit last year. So, as we go over this, I also want to give a warning because I was reminded that my video last year on the November 28th ritual, it got taken down for hate speech, even though there was no hate speech in it. And I'm going to have to revisit the exact same topics. So this thing we figured out about November 28th and say also why last year Clarence Gilliard died at age 66 on November 28th. It fits in with why this ritual with Kim Kardashian for November 28th this year. Clarence Gilliard died on November 28th at age 66 last year, and we'll revisit why that was. But this year, GQ magazine is 66 years old, and we're going to get to why it matters so much, this ritual with Kim being the man of the year as a woman. And for all the people who accuse everybody of being transgender, it's hard to accuse Kim Kardashian of being transgender unless she's been replaced, like it's they cloned Tyrone. Because she does have a porn video with, isn't it with Brandy's brother? Brandy, who used to be a popular singer and actress in the 90s. I'm sure she's still popular. But also, notice you see it in the USA Today article. Some of the other syndicated articles use the same image. You can't even tell for sure that it's Kim Kardashian, right? It's a focus on her chest and her nipples, right? Her nipples pop out in the picture. That's what almost everyone's going to see. Their eyes going to be drawn to. Kim Kardashian's nipples for Man of the Year. And the thing that's interesting about this is there is a growing epidemic in America of men who, because of their diet and how much estrogen's in it and lack of exercise and lack of testosterone and everything else that's going on, just the chemical transformation of the people of this world that's taking place in a lot of ways because of what's in the water, in the air, in the food, the experimental genetically modified organisms. Anyhow, a lot of men are growing breasts that look more and more like women, and even younger men. So how interesting, and realize it was USA Today and ABC who had these stories out first late yesterday. Almost all of the rest of the media is covering it today about this magazine issue that's dated November 28th for later this month. It might be available already. If you ever paid attention to magazines, there's a date for the month, but oftentimes it's out 2-3 weeks before that date. So, again, part of the story from just like listening to them talking about this on the news is just how, she's just continued to persevere in power and be a tycoon in the world of entertainment and the world's attention and social media. She's a tycoon and she's doing even without Kanye and having to raise 4 children as now a single mom. So, listen to this. When I first dug into this story, I'm like, okay, it's November 20th. I heard that first on the news, and then when I looked at the story, I saw November 28th, and I was like, okay, I already see where they're going with this. But then I just had to laugh. See, for like all the people who say the work that we do here is irrelevant because everyone already knows all this, it's not true. I mean, those of us who are awake see the game, but you try to share this with your friends and family and why they shouldn't pay so much and keep up with the Kardashians, because all of this is part of mass mind control and doing exactly what's being done, just the transformation of roles. In Hollywood now, the guy's kind of the dunce, the loser, the woman's the superhero, and in a way, it's fun, but it's just, you realize it's like the theme in almost every movie now, and now it's Kim Kardashian, who's had the attention of the world for more than a decade. I've lost track of time. Has it been 20 years? It's been a long time, probably since her porn video. Again, her father got famous from the O.J. Simpson trial. But you see now how, as time goes on, now, man, she's helping really cross bounds. She's the first Man of the Year in GQ. But look at this. The story of without the man in the house. Keep that in mind. And also with the death of Virgil Abloh, another man connected to the family. But look at this. Look how they do this. In Gematria, again, if you're new here, Gematria, it's a real thing, goes back to Babylon. It's well known within Hebrew, ancient Greek, within the Bible, the ancient biblical texts. Well, lo and behold, within the English language, there's this same system of Gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words. It's as simple as ABC is 1, 2, 3, just like it's sung about by the British band The Police, the song Murder by Numbers, where killing's the sport of the elected, and it's simple as ABC is 1, 2, 3, where murder equals 83, like the year the song came out. Anyhow, in this same code, GQ's Man of the Year equals 174, like the phrase number of the beast, and this comes on Kanye's the magazine cover is dated for November 28th, the 174th day of his age. And remember, the thing about the word beast has a gematria of 47. Maybe I forgot to put the screenshot in here, beast. But 1128, I did forget to put it in here. I got everything but the 47 in here, my bad. Okay, number of the beast, 174, in the same cipher. If you just add up the letters of beast, B's the second letter, E's the fifth, A's the first, S is the 19th, T's the 20th, alphabetic order. You add that together, beast equals 47. Kanye's 46 right now. We'll get to why this news is coming on the day, leaving 46 days left in the year, how it's being syndicated by almost everyone. But it did break first yesterday. A few sources broke it yesterday, the day where everything was 47 in the news. And again, the magazine cover will be on 1128. 1128 is the 47th triangular number, which means if you add 1 through 47 together, it equals 1128. These numbers, these pairings, they come together over and over. This is exactly what we were talking about with Virgil Abloh 2 years ago on November 28th, the number of the beast tribute, the connection to Kanye. You know, Kanye's another entertainer like Bob Dylan who has openly said that he sold his soul to Satan for the fame. You know, Kanye, I forget exactly where Kanye said it, but you can listen to it. And he even has a rhyme about it, that all he got back was, I forget exactly how it goes. It was something like he only got back a Happy Meal. But Bob Dylan said it openly on 60 Minutes in the Ed Bradley interview. So with regards to the number of the beast and the beast thing, let me just pull up the gematria calculator too for the person who needs to see it with their own eyes. The most simple cipher. Here, we'll run it forwards and backwards to make a point too. With the alphabetic order forwards, beast is 47. Kanye's age 46 in his 47th year of life while they do this. Again, the news broke yesterday, November 14th, the day leaving 47 days left in the year. The guy who got his neck sliced open on the hockey rink, number 47, they arrest the man for manslaughter for doing that on the day leaving 47 days left in the year. They waited several days to do that when the news broke the eve before Halloween. If you run the alphabetic order in reverse, beast is 88, and I just want you to see that Kim Kardashian, her name, has that gematria of 88 as well. Run the alphabetic order in reverse numerology. Again, these are the 4 base ciphers, the alphabetic order forwards and backwards with numerology. But just realize her name has this beast connection, going with this 47 theme that we're really hitting on. And keep in mind, Kanye is going to turn 47 officially next year. But one more time, when you turn 46, you begin your 47th year of life. The reason that's so is because when you're born, you begin your first year of life, and then you turn 1 eventually after a full year of living. And then you begin your second year of life, and so on. And yeah, these patterns are so redundant. This knowledge was written about by Aleister Crowley, very famous occultist who died in the year 47 and not by accident. So with that part established, she is GQ's Man of the Year, and she gets the top title, Tycoon of the Year. Okay, look at this. I'm just going to put up the 4 base ciphers real quick. Tycoon of the Year. We're going to write this out. Do you see how it has a gematria value of 66 when you run the alphabetic order in reverse with numerology? Remember last year on 11/28, you have this man dead at 67 or 66, and he played this character related to Satan, which we'll talk about. But the phrase number of the beast is also 66. Talked about the 174 piece, now where the 66 piece comes in. And with regards to the number of the beast being 258 in reverse, it is interesting because 666, if you take its square root, it's 25.8. And of course, the number of the beast is 66. But the word woman, or actually before we even do woman, number of the beast is 66. Notice how New Testament is also 66. New Testament is 66. The 66th book of the Bible, Revelation, teaches about the number of the beast. That's in Protestant Bibles, which is the majority of English-speaking Christian Bibles or Protestant Bibles. But New Testament, also 42 forwards. Notice how the word math is 42 forwards, 66 in reverse. Again, the New Testament begins with Matthew, and the 42 generations to Jesus ends with the 66th book. In the New's also 42 Testament. So where this gets, more connected is when you think about how the number of the beast is related with Satan. Satan is symbolized by the Church of Satan as Baphomet. And Baphomet is part male, part female, half and half. So Kim Kardashian, a woman, as man of the year. And the word woman also has the Gematria 66. This is going on while the magazine is 66 years old. She's the tycoon of the year, 66. And there's probably something with the 78 because that's a huge tarot number, 78 cards in the tarot deck. And again, if you know tarot well, you can see where a lot of these rituals fit in. Remember, tarot in the most simple ciphers, 74, like gematria, the practice of coining numbers into words, like English, like energy, like occult, like Masonic. We'll talk a little bit about Lucifer in a moment as well, another name associated with Satan. Lucifer equals 74, like all those other words. Also 38 and 43. And this news comes 38 days after Kim Kardashian's 43rd birthday. And if you look up what the Lucifer number is, you'll find out that the number is 741. This has been identified as by occultists that the Lucifer number is 741. So it has those digits to begin 74, but where that gets more interesting is 741 is the 38th triangular number. So if you add 1 through 38 together, it's 741. And again, this is 38 days after her 43rd birthday that we're getting, the magazine cover is dated for 38 days after her birthday. Kim's birthday is October 21st. The magazine's dated November 28th. So 10 more days to the end of October, Halloween, October 31st from her birthday. 10 plus 28 more days into November, 38 days. She's 43 right now. But yeah, for the clincher, when I looked at the article published, and I think ABC broke the news. It's funny, I was playing that Andre 3000 lyric where he says at the end, he ends it with the ABC talking about knowledge. And notice this article, when they broke the news about how she's going to be man of the year last night, the day leaving 47 days left in the year before everybody syndicated today. I didn't see CNN talking about this last night on the news or Fox News, but they're talking about it today. So breaks last night, big news today in the cycle. And the 1018 though, 1018. What is that? In the Bible, that's where Satan comes to earth, or in other worded Bibles, it's where Lucifer comes to earth. In Luke 10:18, and again, Lucifer 74 on this calendar, October 18th, 10:18, leaves 74 days left in the year. And you see how pandemic is the same as Lucifer with the 38 and 43? The Event 201 coronavirus pandemic simulation a month before it happened was a simulation of a coronavirus pandemic that lasts 2 years and kills 65 million people worldwide. Bill Gates was the main co-sponsor. It was on the 65th day of his wife's age, who came from a family of Jesuit priests. But, and then Bill Gates was in his 65th year of life when the pandemic was going on. He turned 65 at the end of 2020, the year of COVID, where he's got his headquarters across the street from the world's biggest needle. He's made a lot more money in his lifetime in the jab industry than he even did in big tech. But yeah, all this stuff's related. All this stuff's related. And it's not an accident, for example, that Bill Gates took his company, Microsoft, from the 47th state, New Mexico, to the 47th parallel in Seattle, the land of the Space Needle, where New Mexico is the land of the UFO and Roswell thing. Um, but yeah, people, even people's concept of aliens, when you really think about it, um, they come from another dimension, right? Just like how in the Bible, like the equivalent of aliens is fallen angels, which is like what Satan and Lucifer are. Something other than human. So yeah, whether you believe in all this stuff or not, the point is the people who run this world, they pay tribute to it day in and day out. And that's why it's Kim Kardashian as Man of the Year. On the anniversary of Virgil Abloh's death, who's connected to her and Kanye, and then again the anniversary of the lawsuit. So there's a reason the same date keeps coming up. And here's the Virgil Abloh thing. 1128 is the 47th triangular number. And his brand was Off-White, which equals 47, and his name Virgil was 41, and he died at age 41, just like in that same cipher, Kobe Bryant equals 41. Kobe Bryant 41, Virgil 41, both dead at 41. In the case of Kobe, dead on the 41st day of the Pope's age, while traveling from Catholic Mass. And notice how Crucify is also 41. And that was synced up with Kanye, too, because Kanye was in the Black Mamba short film with him, where it ends with an exploding helicopter. And it's Kanye who blows up. Kobe throws the bomb at him. But Louis Vuitton, Vuitton's got the 41 in it too, that other second part of the name of the brand. And we were talking about then how he died on Kanye's 174th day of his age. Number of the beast. Beast 47, like France, where these brands are. Remember, the Jesuits who are doing this whole thing. That's why you got Kanye and Jay-Z as ends in Paris. Paris is where the Jesuits are from, who do all this. They synced up the language, the calendar. They run the industries. They run the nation. Kanye turning 47 next year in an election year. He's really got to watch out. He could be Trump's lunch. That's Trump's number. Trump's even running on Agenda 47 right now. Kanye was 44. They said Virgil Abloh died at age 44. Again, 44 is a very fateful number. And Kim will turn 44 next year in the year that Kanye turns 47. So think about that. But in Gematria, Cancer, Chemo, and Kill are all 44. So that's good. I mean, there's those same numbers in 2024. The year of the next big solar eclipse over America that's going to form an X over the nation if you take the path of the one that crossed in 2017. Part of the reason Elon Musk did his ritual with X, the 24th letter before the eclipse in 24, when what's a X? Oh yeah, it's a cross or a crucifix. And so many rappers, they've made them pose like Jesus, from Kanye to Nas to many more. To Tupac, the most blatant example, R.I.P., dead on Caesar Borgia's birthday, where white Jesus comes from. And then they announced his mom's death on the real Machiavelli's birthday, when Machiavelli's the prince is on Caesar Borgia, the son of a pope. Yeah, and that Machiavelli album with Tupac after his death came out on Guy Fawkes Day. Remember the 5th of November. Now more recently the tragedy with the Travis Scott Astroworld date, where his stage was a giant upside down cross, a satanic symbol. Oh yeah. November 28th also leaves 33 days left in the year. Kanye West 33. I almost forgot that part. I almost forgot the Kanye 33 part with the date. So again, that's part of the story, her being Man of the Year. She's doing it without the man. Just like Beyonce. All this, her song Irreplaceable is about how replaceable the man is. Oh man. That's what happens when you might have a beautiful voice, you might be a talented musician, but hey, when you sign on the line with this gang, they're going to make sure the influence they want is in your music. That's how you get to be rich and famous. It's how you get the contract. You're going to compromise a little bit. So I almost feel like they put out Kanye's first album in a way to like show what they can do to a person. I mean, you listen to Kanye's first album. For anyone who's never listened to Kanye West's first album, The College Dropout, maybe just go back and listen to that album, because you'll be like, wait a minute, what? He was all against like the designer brands and selling out and being materialistic. He was the religious guy, you know. He's about doing the right thing. You know, a few albums later, he's Mr. Fashion. He's got all the designer brands. He's now promoting them. You know, instead of like not being a womanizer, now he's a total womanizer. But I mean, there's a lot of stories like that in the music world, right? It's like almost that's what they show you. They're like, yeah, join this world. You want to be like these people? Watch how they sell out. You can sell out to be like them too. Next thing you know, you got a society of sellouts. But yeah, we were also looking back then how Virgil Abloh, when it happened, it was 38 days after Kim's birthday, and where it goes with Lucifer. Well, Kardashian also fits with him dying at 41, but I must have been making the point. Oh, I just wrote it down because I've talked about it so many times. Again, if you guys are new here, the movie poster for Murder by Numbers, it just tells the whole story. And Sandra Bullock and Ryan Gosling are in this film, and they both just had some murder rituals of their own, connected to people connected to them. For Gosling, it happened to the other Gosling in the band The Kinks, 38 weeks into Ryan Gosling's age, right as that Barbie movie was coming out. And then Sandra Bullock, her lover, died about the same time. But you can see how they code the 3-8 in the Murder by Numbers poster. And again, Murder has that 38 and 83, like the song came out in 83, like Sandra Bullock, the star of the movie's 83, like how the film came out 38 weeks after her birthday while she was in her 38th year of life. You know, killing, death, R.I.P., Gematria, English, Kabbalah, energy, a whole bunch of words equal 38. And again, Pentagon's 38, D.C. on the 38th parallel. Yesterday, people marching for the war in Israel in support of Israel 38 days after the war began. Think about it. Who runs Hollywood? Think about it. So yeah, that was the Virgil Abloh dead 38 days after her birthday. And now you just see it's 2 years later. It'll be the 2-year anniversary, and she is the man of the year. Officially dated. People look back at that in history, they'll be like, it was November 28, 2023. From that day forward, there was no more man of the year. Just everybody, it's just... They just want people to, they want the human being to be like as separate from the actual natural world as possibly as can be. Living in front of screens, no longer like recognizing things that are human, the traits that set the two traditional genders apart, what make life possible, procreation. It's like they don't want this to be a thought. And again, the same Hollywood entertainment cabal, they're the ones doing remakes of Utopia in 2020 while we're all on lockdown. If you guys didn't see, Amazon, part of this same gang operating up on the 47th parallel in Seattle. Jeff Bezos also started his business down in the 47th state, New Mexico, before he took it up to Seattle on the 47th parallel with the Space Needle. Space, aliens, technology. Technology also associated with the demonic, the occult. Playing records backward to see what the occultists hit on there. But man, just for the record, as I interrupt my thought again, just the way they killed black men with the 59 code too. Virgil Abloh also died 59 days after his birthday. Motown in 59. Black History Month on the 59th day of the year concludes. But 8 months and 3 days, like 83. I mean. But my thought got interrupted. What was I talking about? Oh, I got to rewind my own video. I forgot. But whatever. It doesn't matter. It's just the ritualism, the code, the same numbers. The reason we have a license plate that says, what is 47? You want to know one of the... Yesterday, it was so blatant with the hockey player, the death of number 47, the man who kicked him with the skate in the neck, getting arrested on the day, leaving 47 days left there. Look at what else was going on in sports. I put out a video this morning on the San Diego Padres owner's death. I brought up how Arlington equals 47, and that's where the Rangers are, who just won the World Series. But what I missed is this owner of the Padres, again, he's dead at 63, like Padres, Major League Baseball, and Major League are all 63 after the Rangers went in their 63rd season. But what I missed is this. The day he died was the day of the owners' meeting to discuss moving the Athletics to Vegas, where the Super Bowl is going to be. And the first Super Bowl was in the 47th season of the NFL. But notice, Arlington is where they had the owners' meeting on November 14th, the day leaving 47 days left in the year, where everything in the news was 47, and then the owner just dies that day. Of all days for the owner to die, he just happens to die the day of this owners' meeting. And the one other 47, besides them hosting the Super Bowl, there's only 2 states that equal 47 in the most simple cipher. They're Nevada and Ohio. The Super Bowl's where in Vegas is going to be in Nevada. And again, the first Super Bowl was in the 47th season of the NFL, which was the year 66. You know what I mean? Beast 47, number of the beast 66, and 66 was the 47th season of the NFL. And these numbers come up in the suspicious NFL deaths as well. Same stuff over and over. But again, that's the day that they're voting to move the team to Nevada in Las Vegas. The day leaving 47 days left in the year and doing it in Texas. In Arlington, as an owner dies. As we talk about the same numbers. I mean, how many times did we say, what is 47 before somebody sent me this in the mail? I mean, we've been talking about what is 47 since almost the beginning. I mean, 47 was the big number that got me to see Gematria, but then I started the what is 47 campaign. Like, just tell people about 47, and just every time a big 47 rolls around, it'll blow their mind, you know? But again, beast, number of the beast, Satan, Baphomet, male, female, on essentially the day that we designated Baphomet Day, and we said that last year with the death of Clarence Gilliard. Now you got this. Notice also that Clarence Gilliard was in Walker, Texas Ranger. Do you think that might have been a little bit of predictive programming for what was in the year ahead for the upcoming Rangers? Notice he died the time of year they do the owners meeting. He might have died last year, the day of the owners meeting. It might have been on this, around the same time. Doesn't matter. But again, dead at 66, Tycoon of the Year 66, Woman 66, Kim the Woman, the Man of the Year. While the magazine GQ is 66 years old, it was established in 1957. GQ, and I'll show you something even more mind-blowing. Actually, hold on. Let's actually go back and finish the GQ thing, and then we'll come more back to the Clarence Gilliard. Got the 66 parallel, but look at this. You see how the word tycoon is 92 and 25? Today is 25 days from, or hold on. Yes, from Kim's October 21st birthday to today, November 15th, is 25 days later. And GQ was made GQ in the year 1957. It did turn 66 this year. But before it was GQ, it went by another name for the first part of his existence. For the first 26 years, it was known as Apparel Arts, right? And Apparel Arts launched in 1931. So the original GQ magazine launched 92 years ago. The GQ brand launched 66 years ago. But with regards to 92 years ago and 25 days after her birthday, Tycoon equals 92 and 25. That's the title. She's Tycoon of the Year, the top men's honor. And then with regards to everyone syndicating this story today, and today it really being the buzz in the news, today leaves 46 days left in the year. Again, Kanye West is 46, the man absent, making the story for her to be Man of the Year. And again, the original name of the magazine, Apparel Arts, is 46. So, the word chaos is 46. Ordo ab chao, the Latin for order out of chaos, is 46. Special number is 46. Catholics 46. 46 books in the Catholic Old Testament. The Catholic Templars burned at the stake for worshiping Baphomet. But, yeah, again, just how perfectly clever and thought out these things are. And again, evidence that a lot of these people have been born and raised for the stage, you know, born and raised for the world stage, to have the influence and to help persuade the minds of the people who are influenced by them. These people are born and raised to do this. Again, the Balenciaga or Valencia thing was last year, 11/28, with Kim right in the middle of it too. Now the magazine cover is Man of the Year, dated 11/28. But okay, also 11/28, Clarence Gilliard, this actor, dead at 66, right? And Clarence has the Gematria 47. He was a UNLV professor as well. There's Nevada again. And then Virgil Abloh with the France connection, where France is 47. And he died 6 years after the release of the film The Beast, which came out in 2016, a bit like 216, where the product is 6 times 6 times 6 is 216. And Clarence Gilliard had that 74 in it, which goes with the Lucifer, which connects back through Beast. And I was saying how that same week that happened, Monday Night Football, both teams became 4-7 playing in Las Vegas in that week. Just because, again, you had the UNLV connection, University of Northern Las Vegas. How when you're paying attention, you'll see how the sports are paying tribute to the number. Big celebrity death, big news story. Again, you just see the web through the control structure. And come back to this 74 in a minute. Yeah, dead in the 11th month. Of course, the word black is 11. 66 is the 11th triangular. In a way, a black man's connected to the Kim story because it's without Kanye. And yeah, Clarence Gilliard was also had a Christmas Eve birthday. Clarence Gilliard, his name, 88. Same cipher as Kim Kardashian, right? 88. And again, Beast, 47 and 88. And don't overlook the Kim Kardashian's 50. All the numbers in her name are interesting. Satan is 232 in Jewish gematria. Beast is 88 in the English. 56 goes with the Church of Satan and the Society of Jesus, which really are one and the same thing. Wolves in sheep's clothing. And 119 is just all-important number. And Larry just point out with Clarence Gilliard and where he fits in and how he was in Walker, Texas Ranger, and the Rangers won the 119th World Series on Bush's 119th day of his age, and he's part of these occult Masonic secret societies. There's could even be a parallel there, but all of these numbers are definitely relevant numbers that we discuss for a lot of reasons and a lot of different rituals. And you know what else? Kim Kardashian, 11956. Here's a big one because she's somebody who's in the mind's eye of most, like pretty much anyone with a screen in the world knows who she is. And yeah, just even the way people know her, like the way my mom talks about Kim Kardashian, she's like, oh yeah, I don't like her. She's the pretty one with the big boobs. And then, you know, like USA Today's article, that's what it is. Her boobs in a t-shirt with no bra, so you can see her nipples as Man of the Year. As more and more men than ever have breasts like women because of what's going on in society. But yeah, coming back to the Clarence Gilliard thing. That film came out August 16th. Wait a minute. Hold on. Maybe that's a different release date. The Beast came out in 2016. I screwed up. A different one of his releases was August 16th, 2018, another show he was known for. And that day leaves 137 days left in the year. Just his name, Clarence Gilliard, also 137. It was brought up at the time of his passing. He died 75 months after the release of the film. The Superior General just turned 75 years old. Israel just turned 75. I skipped over it, but I did have a point about 75 in the GQ Man of the Year title. This week in the NFL, it was the Superior General, the leader of the Jesuits' 75th birthday Sunday. Home teams went 7-5 Sunday. The first win was by the Colts in Germany. And notice how Indianapolis is 75 and Indianapolis Colts is 75. First team to win in Germany, where the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt founded the Illuminati in 1776. Home team stayed on 76 wins for the year. But home team 7-5, and then Monday Night Football, Russell Wilson, the 75th pick of the draft, with the big upset over the Bills. And of course, they put up the big 201.93 in the game if you were watching it. Illuminati shout out, Jesuit shout out. Just like how, again, Indianapolis is the only 201 city in America. And if you're new here, 201 is the signature number of the Jesuits. But since I talk about almost video, I'm going to try not to in this one. Okay, let me see. Did we get it all for Clarence Gilliard? Die Hard, Top Gun. I'm sure. If you look further into these things, you'll find even more than what I've unveiled. I just started to scratch the surface. But okay, we hit the Kim article. If you got here late, feel free to rewind. You can just drag that red line at the bottom back to the left. Start it all over. Yeah, we hit all these points. So, okay. Just also about the ritualism and how it really does have a huge impact on our life. The rituals that are being performed that become the news stories, that become the explanations for why this happened to us or why we have to have this great expense in life. Like all of us who pay insurance, our insurance rates are just way up right now. In the last year's time, insurance rates have just skyrocketed, even if you haven't had to make any claims, you haven't any problems. And it's because industry-wide, they're saying because of all the disasters from nature. They're blaming it on nature. One military objective at a time as we continue to expose. Weather warfare, so obvious. But because of all of this, it's raised insurance expenses so high. Like people who have cabins out here in the Pacific Northwest are having to get rid of their cabins because the insurance is just astronomical to keep them. Cabins are inexpensive to buy for people who save up money, but now to afford to keep them is the crazy expense. People are like, I don't go there enough to justify this. All these little stories are creating real-world changes that are bringing about Klaus Schwab, speaking of the Jesuits, the main host of Event 201, Klaus Schwab, again, his by 2030, you'll own nothing and be happy. And I imagine that's an exaggerated statement, but they're figuring out for how a generation to make sure they really can't afford to own anything. Everything's so expensive. They got to rent, lease, figure out a way just to keep up with the bills each month. Again, all things good and bad. I do think there's been way too much consumerism, and it is good in a way that it's being curbed, but the way it's being curbed is abusive, and it's being done by the same people who created the overconsumption and destruction. Now they want to own it back, but they always have to do things on their time scale that keep them in power and control. So look at this. Think about it. When they say the world is a banker's world, this article that's put out by CNN today, CNN puts this out today on 6-date numerology. Again, CNN's by the numbers every day. The reason I spend more time on CNN than any other network is because I recognized what CNN was a long time ago from paying attention and doing research. CNN is who broke the suspect footage of the plane hitting the tower on 9/11. If you don't know the original video that CNN was the first to put out and then Fox News syndicated shortly after, it shows a plane hitting the building and coming out the other side, and then the screen blacks out. So CNN's original footage to show, because people thought bombs were going off before the plane story came out. All the reports before planes were that bombs were going off in the World Trade Center like Die Hard. And then CNN broke the footage of a plane hitting the tower, and then it was like 24 hours later they had the second image of the next plane hitting. And again, back then everybody didn't have cameras on them. Nobody's phone had a camera back then. I don't know anybody's cell phone that... It might have had a really blurry, like one that you could take a picture with, but not a recording camera. Somebody's going to go back and say, yeah, they did exist. Okay, if somebody had that, I don't know anybody that had a phone like that. That's the point I'm making. Back when 9/11 happened. But 6% commission dead, and today has 6-date numerology. But look at this. So I wanted to look more at the story. And, that when they're putting this stuff out, if you're awake, you're like, this stuff is not an accident. Some of the highest paid people in your community are realtors, because they're realtors that have a name, and they end up selling like the most expensive homes, and their name gets passed around when another $1 million property is on the block. And people who sell $1 million properties that are realtors who get 6% commissions do 6% on $1 million sale and see how much money that is. If it was $100 sale, you would get $6. If it was $1,000, you'd get $60. If it was 10,000, you'd get 600. If it was 100,000, you would get 6,000. If it was a million, you'd get 60,000. So imagine you're a person that sells multi-million dollar properties. You're in that circle. You might sell 20 properties a year. So you're a millionaire yourself. You make over $1 million selling homes, and you're in a big city like LA. Well, what they're saying is this 6% commission, it's dead, because they're saying the National Association of Realtors, recently a judge decided that they owe over $5 billion in penalties for fixing prices to make realtors higher commissions. So they're saying because of this $5 billion that they're going to have to pay out of this organization that like sets the market rates and the commissions, that, you know, it's to make up for this, and because of also what happened and the new rules that are going to place, it's just going to be way smaller commissions going forward. Now, the thing is, the average realtor doesn't sell $1 million properties on the average. However, all homes are high right now in price. So, I mean, realtors, in a way, until the market slowed down, were doing better than ever while it was on fire and prices were high. But again, you just have a lot of people in the nation who pay the bills through real estate, and right now the market's slow, sales are slow, and if they sell 3 homes in the year right now, which is probably not unheard of for a lot of realtors as slow as things are, and all of those net sales were, not even $1 million, they're compared to other salaries, actually, they might not do that bad. They might still make $60,000 in the year. But hey, if that's at 6%, if it gets cut down to like a 2-3% commission, now they made $20,000 for the year, $30,000. Now they can't feed their family. They could do it at $60,000, but not at 20 or 30. And the thing is, you talk to a lot of realtors. They're realtors because they know it's a position where if you apply yourself, you can make good money, but they might not have a lot of skills to do anything else. It might be hard to find another job that pays anywhere even near that. And again, just bringing down the middle class, making it harder for everybody in all kinds of sectors in all different ways, one storyline and at a time. And this time it's because a judge decided to rule against the industry in a way that's super expensive. So ultimately, it's going to take a toll on everybody who makes their living in that industry because of the judge's decision. So here's what starts to stand out right away. Look at all the things here that are so perfect. Actually, here, we'll just jump down to this. The National Association of Realtors, because of the judge's decision on Halloween, the decision was made on Halloween, okay? It was also made on Halloween, infamous day. On October 31st, a Kansas City, Missouri jury ruled that the National Association of Realtors, or NAR, and several residential brokerages engaged in illegal price fixing and awarded damage to Missouri home sellers that could total more than $5 billion. So they're saying this can have nationwide impacts because of what happened here. But notice, from the anniversary date of the establishment of the National Association of Realtors, May 12th, to the decision, October 31st, 173 days into the association's age, this decision is going to have a major impact on the commission rate for realtors. Commission rate 173. And, I'm sure somewhere at a higher table, they're like, well, people aren't buying homes. If we can just finagle the price down a little bit because we do have things so high, or maybe we can make it so we keep the prices high, but we still want to make our cut. Maybe we'll just make it so the realtor doesn't get much of a cut anymore, but the banker's still going to get his share, right? I show how Knights Templar and commission rate just have this perfect overlap. It could be a coincidence, but again, the Knights Templar, they do a lot of rituals with those numbers, and the Knights Templar are the original bankers. So a world manipulated by, again, a church, a Catholic church whose calendar, whose language we're speaking. We're on the Catholic Church's calendar, the Gregorian calendar that says it's November 15th today. That's the Catholic Church's calendar. Again, their old military order that became the original bankers, the Knights Templar, the current military order, the Jesuits, who have the Templar cross in their logo. How pretty much all these major world organizations are in Switzerland, the land of the bankers, and where a lot of the Templars fled to. You know what I mean? Don't overlook that Knights Templar is 65 like pandemic, like how the Event 201 simulation, 65 million die in it. Remember, Bill Gates turned 65 in 2020. Big money guy, but Templars, bankers, all the world loans send out, all the interest made for the bankers off the pandemic, the 65 thing. Just think about it. So, Yeah, what's undeniable though is how this decision, and they're saying it's going to hit the commission rate. Just perfect ritual. Perfect ritual. And then you see how Kansas City, Missouri 74-124 where the decision was made. National Association of Realtors 124. Remember when Prince's brother died in Kansas City, Missouri? He died on the day leaving 124 days left in the year. There might be more to that number than we know because they just had a huge 124 ritual when the Chiefs won in Germany 124 days after Hank Stram's birthday. And Andy Reid got his 124th regular season win, tying Hank Stram, who created the Chiefs. And then the football team in Europe that actually plays in that stadium is 124 years old right now. I've seen some 124 things over the years, but maybe just like how for a while we looked at things like 201 and we saw it, but we didn't know how big it was. Then we realized, we're like, oh, wow, maybe one day that somebody will make a greater connection with what 124 is all about. But here's the one other thing about this National Association of Realtors. Founded May 12th in 1908. That means this year it turned 115 years old. Remember, Kansas City, Missouri is also 74. Masonic, 74 and 115. See? You think about it. Masonic symbolism all over the dollars, bankers, secret societies, Templars, Jesuits. Jesuits created modern Freemasonry. There's a order of Templars that have to be there anytime a new Masonic lodge is open. Part of the custom is the Templar has to be there to oversee. So again, I'm just trying to get you to think about all these things, where these secret societies are related, the church, the history, the dollars, the banks, how any of this could be possible. And just with regards to 47, for the record, the plural of banks is 47. Just like authorities, 47, just like governments, 47. It's like Republicans 47 and Democrats 47, and again, White House is 47 and presidents 47 and Caesar's 47. And you even think about the spelling of Caesar with the silent A. It's like an initiated spelling. It's like you have to be learned. You have to have enough knowledge to even know how to spell Caesar right. And don't forget, Whig is also 47, and the Republican Party came out of the Whig Party. Thanks to Lincoln, who said 7 years ago, and this nation's birthday is the 4th day of the 7th month. And again, Foundation's 47, and the Masons started the 47th problem of Euclid. And yesterday, the day leaving 47 days left in the year. Kansas City, the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes was big headlines yesterday on the day leaving 47 days left in the year. Again, the Chiefs were in the first Super Bowl in the 47th NFL season. But I thought it was pretty gross what Mahomes' story was viral of because, again, I just know how people are so influenced by celebrity. And I thought the people who will be the most influenced by this story are their children. And I can already peer into the millions of households. Maybe it won't happen in millions of households, but lots of households. The households that have the young football player in the home who love Patrick Mahomes, who want to grow up to be like Patrick Mahomes. And they just saw on the news that Patrick Mahomes says he doesn't wash his underwear and he plays in the same pair of stinky underwear all the time. And he made it sound like he's only washed them a few times in his... How many years has he been in the NFL now? What was like his first season as a starter was 2018, right? 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22. So he's played 5 full seasons. We're in the 2023 season. I think he played in a couple of games at the end of 2017, if I'm not mistaken. He made it sound like he's hardly washed his underwear. Can you imagine how crusty and nasty and disease-ridden those underwear would be? Not to mention, what kind of underwear does he have? Because for them to hold up through that many games, getting tackled, sacked, I can imagine how your drawers would be getting torn all the time. But, yeah, I mean, what kind of story is that he doesn't change his underwear? I mean, please. I guarantee he's probably had a brand new pair of underwear for every damn game, like how these guys are wearing new equipment, new shoes. But it's like, why is that the viral story? Oh my God, he doesn't. Again, it's going to be the little kids. Mom's going to be she's going to be like, didn't I tell you to stop hiding your underwear after the game? You cannot put this back on next week. It's like, I promise, Mom, I won't do it next week. And then he feels guilty because he does it again because he's got to be like Mahomes. Next thing you know, little Johnny's got an infection from wearing the nasty, bacteria-ridden underwear. Big Pharma's making even more money because now Mom's got to take a day off work. She's got to run down to the doctor to get little Johnny's rash. But finally, little Johnny learned the lesson that he shouldn't wear dirty drawers every week for his football game. Because I guarantee, see, he's not smart enough. He doesn't have enough life experience to know that Mahomes is full of shit and he'll just say whatever on the camera because he's an actor. That's why he does the ads and plays in the scripted games and sells out his fans just like all these celebrities do. That are all in this little club, that all operate by this same code. And by the way, is there another dead football player? I mean, how sad. NFL player dead at 35, is that right? Devin Wiley, a former NFL wide receiver who played for the Kansas City Chiefs and Tennessee Titans, has died. His family and his alma mater, Fresno State, said Tuesday. So yesterday, this news broke. He was 35. I hate sentences like this. This is like, Fresno State made the announcement of Wiley's death on X. Say how everything breaks on social media now. But 35, I mean, we were just talking about a Satan ritual they just did with Mahomes in 35 not that long ago. Again, 35 is a huge NFL number. It's not arbitrary that the first Super Bowl, the Packers beat the Chiefs with 35 points. But you see how Satan's also 80? You see how Baphomet is 80? Remember, Mahomes got his 80th career win this year on the day, leaving 80 days left in the year. Baphomet's 80 and 35 like Satan. The Satanic Church uses Baphomet to symbolize their spirituality. And then don't forget Catholics 35 because the Templars were burned at the stake for worshiping Baphomet. And there's a lot more to that list. Jesuitism is 35, their actions. But okay, football players dead at 35. And outside of the base ciphers, Septenary and Chaldean are related ciphers. And like I always teach about Washington, D.C. in 47. Yesterday, the huge Israel ritual on the day leaving 47 days left in the year. But Washington, D.C. in both ciphers is 47. Anyway, football is 35 in Chaldean, and Super Bowl is 35 in Septenary. And just, again, like African-American is 43 and 44. Obama was the 43rd person to be president, but number 44 elected 44 years after the Civil Rights Act. So much in that cipher. And again, I don't go over the other ciphers that much, and Derek renamed them all, which is not helpful at all. There was no reason to rename all the ciphers with new... I don't even know... I'm guessing that he took the Kabbalah ciphers and renamed them this. I'll know it's true if Riddle's 74 in all of them. Oh, it's not. Unless he got rid of... Did he get rid of the other ones? Okay, no, he renamed them like this. Okay, so these were all... It doesn't matter, but all three of these ciphers were Riddle equals 74. See, now he has these... I guess two of them he still has Kabbalah in the name. I don't know why he changed it to Cipher X. It's too much to explain, but they're all part of this English language Kabbalah system. And notice how they're all 74, the word Riddle. I mean, I can't think of another word that's the exact same in every cipher. I mean... Patrick, for example, different in every cipher. Mahomes. Well, Mahomes is same in two of them, but football, different in all three, right? But Riddle is the exact same in all three. And I don't know any other word that's the exact same in all three. But remember, just the most simple cipher. Jesus, 74. Cross, 74. Messiah, 74. Gospel, 74. Parables, which are riddles, 74. Jesus spoke in riddles, parables. And... literally every day, this society of Jesus, this Jesuit order, this thing that's harnessing this knowledge going back to Babylon that serves the church and its interest in controlling the world. Because when you start to recognize that the church is more than just the church, it's these nations, it's Britain, it's the West, it's the U.S., it's Israel. The sun never sets on Britain. The Jesuits, the sun, the king who pretty much swore Britain to the Catholic Church long, long ago. Again, that's why all this history traces back. That's why they're still doing the Baphomet thing. It's why the Church of Satan, Anton LaVey's death, is synced by the code with his own life and the Pope's on his date of passing. It's not an accident that the Church of Satan was established the year of the first Super Bowl in the 47th season of the NFL, and all throughout history, we've been watching these satanic rituals where they sacrifice players clearly to this thing. And for all the people who stand by in the corner like, oh, I don't share Zach's work because he doesn't use the right terminology. Like if I heard him say that it was a sacrifice to ball for football, then I would share it. Okay, I just said it, so now you can share it. But like when people are like leaving comments like that, I'm like, are you serious? Why not share the video and then like at the beginning say, hey, the one distinction that I would add is Zach should say ball instead of football. But should we really? Because we know that they're putting the Satan code all over it day in and day out. Well, why can't we understand that all these things are related? Why are we splitting hairs? It's people's ego. But Here, let's look more at this. Devin Wiley, the latest NFL player to just die at a young age. Look at why do they got to show? Why does Google got to put up in his training day he's wearing number 47 first? Don't tell me he died. Actually, it doesn't matter if he died yesterday or today. The news is breaking today, from what I understand, from what you guys said. It broke yesterday. It broke on the day, leaving 47 days left in the year. Come on, man. He's wearing 47, and this news broke on the day, leaving 47 days left in the year. The same day as the hockey got his throat slit. They arrest the man who did it. Come on, man. I didn't write in the right thing. What's the guy's name? Adam? Or is it Adam Johnson? He has like a very generic name. Yeah, it is Adam Johnson. So yeah, again, how do you, I mean, this is why I said for so long, way before we were on the 201 thing. 201 is super important to learn about, but all this stuff is related. The big focus that we always had is what is 47, because it's just so blatant the stuff they do with this number. It's just like they're trying to like beat you over the head with it. And the reason I know that's true is because I was looking at the 47 thing for way longer than I knew about Gematria. It's what led me to finding Gematria. I was like, there's something about 47 in news. They just abuse this number. They just got to throw it up there like it matters so much. And this nation's birthday is the 4th day of the 7th month. I mean, it's just right there. Pro day. He's getting looked at like a piece of meat. These are businessmen. They're investors. They're going to pay you money because you're going to make you more money. They might buy a life insurance policy on your ass. It's going to pay a ton at age 35. So he died the day prior. We've seen this a bunch of times, but then they save that. So he dies the day prior, and then they break the news on November 14th. Any played? Played at Fresno State Bulldogs. He wore number 7. For the record, 7 is the 4th prime number. There's a strong relationship with 4 and 7 through many different things. The language, mathematics, geography. This world that we live in is full of 7s. Time and 4, the seasons. The cross, a word that has that gematria of 74, 7 and 4. He played from 07 to 011. His best season in 011 with 56 catches. What's the numerology of 56? 11. What's the numerology of 47? 11. Again, 11, the master number. Football, 11 on 11. Football and gematria equals 29 and 83. Both break down to 11. So here's the post from Fresno State football. They acknowledge it on the day leaving 47 days left in the year, right? College and pro. What's the Fresno State football team doing this year? Fresno State football team record. Let's see. What kind of season are they having? Having a pretty good season. 4-2 in the conference. Beast rules for 42 months. 8-2 overall. They lost their last game, though. Here, I forget what Fresno State is in gematria. Fresno State Bulldogs. Let's see. Bulldogs also has the gematria 29 and 43 like football. Hold up. Bulldogs is 92. See what they do in next week's game, huh? They're 8-2 for the year. But here, let's get some more information on Devin Wiley then, who passed November 13th. That was a date with 47 numerology, 11 plus 13. Or no, hold on. 11 plus 13 is 24, plus 23, 47. Yeah, it was the date with 47 and 67 numerology. It was the day that Trump's sister went by the code. All right, hold on. Wrong thing came up. He's from the Sacramento Bay Area. He was the 107th overall pick in the 4th round. Both fateful numbers. Ritual Sacrifice is 107. We talk about a lot. 4, number highly connected to death. He was born on 9-2. Bulldogs equals 92. And if his team wins the game after his death, which I have no doubt they'll have a huge tribute to, they'll be 9-2 for the year. And you just see this stuff all the time. The only thing you'd have to think twice about is if they went the other way and paid tribute to murder, but the team name is 92. Football's 83, Bulldogs is 92. Some of you guys caught wind of this news today. There are articles we just saw that were published today on this. Today does leave 46 days left in the year. Of course, Sacrifice is 46. September 2nd to... we were talking actually about where the 92 even fit in with the Kim Kardashian thing. And GQ starting out as a different magazine in 1931, 92 years ago. And... tycoon, the word they're using for 92. He died 72 days after his birthday. Well, I just saw that in his name, Gematria. I just saw Devin Wiley. Or was it, or maybe it was Fresno State Bulldogs? Is that what I saw? Fresno State Bulldogs, 72 in the most pure. He was a Fresno State Bulldogs, dead 72 days later after his birthday. You know what else that means? That also means he died on his 73rd day of his age. And we just said how he was the 107th pick. Notice how Ritual Sacrifice is 107 in reverse, 73 forwards. We've seen this so many times. Sacrifice also 73 and 46, like how his name is 46. It's like, this is how they pick him. It's just obvious. Same stuff over and over. Over and over. He was drafted in 2012, 11 years ago. You know, every time Amy does a decode of the NFL, she always goes back to the draft date, and she finds a lot of interesting things. 2012 NFL draft. 4th round probably would have been the last day of the draft. So he was drafted on the 118th day of the year. Except for that year, it was a leap year, so it would have been the 119th day of the year. He was drafted April 28th. Man, that was the day with 44 and 64 numerology. That was the kill date for the month. Day he was drafted. But let's see real quick. April 28th to his death. He died 199 days after his draft anniversary. And that's the 46th prime. Sacrifice 46. And again, his name, Devin Wiley's 46. Man. Hold up. Okay. And you know what else that means? That means just that draft as a whole that he was a part of. It started on the 26th, so he died 201 days after the anniversary of the start of that NFL draft. And again, it's the Jesuits who run the whole show, and that's the number that's large and in charge. So over and over, you guys. Here, let's read the article. We didn't even read. We just started to decode. Sometimes it's good to read the article because sometimes I'll just throw stuff right at you and you're like, wow, look at that. The day, a couple days before Kobe died, it was the kill date, and an NBA player died, and they had to mention that he played in 44 NBA games. And again, if you're new here, the kill date is a date that has numerology of 44, 64, and either 17 or 28 in its paths. It's usually 44, 64, 28. Sometimes it'll have all 4 numbers. It'll fall on, the time that'll happen will fall when it's the month that falls on the 17th of the month and also has the kill date numerology. So it's a whole numerology thing, but just sometimes it's just blatantly obvious. Like when the NBA player died, they had to say he played in 44 NBA games. Matthew Perry just died on the 28th of the month, the day leaving 64 days left in the year, 44 years after his film acting credit, which was with his father. And Matthew Perry is also 64. And Matthew 10:28 is an interesting verse in light of his death. This was the 77th annual draft that he died. And that's a big secret society U.S. number. I wish I knew more about the college Fresno State other than it being in Fresno. There's probably a greater connection But yeah, here, let's read the article. Former Fresno State wide receiver Devin Wiley has died. He was 35. Wiley played 5 seasons at Fresno State, so he redshirted. Before he was a 4th-round pick of the Kansas City Chiefs in the 2012 draft. Wiley had 98 catches. So his NFL career with Oh no, never mind. That's interesting that he had 98 catches with Fresno before he went to play for the Kansas City Chiefs, because Kansas City Chiefs have some 98 rituals. When they won the game in Germany, for example, that was synced with Hank Strom, the founder of the Chiefs. It was 98 days before the upcoming Super Bowl. Okay. So, again, blah, blah, blah about his stats. See, again, 56 catches in 2011. They got to throw that in there. And the cause of death has not been released publicly. What else is new? And again, for all the people who say, well, if there was some conspiracy going on, the authorities would get to the bottom of it. Again, that's where, like, your brain must be shutting off. The nation's think about what the highest authority in the land is in this nation. It's the federal government. That's the highest authority that we're aware of in the United States of America. That we actually know there's a higher federal government that rules over the puppet show in D.C. But from just even the way we understand the federal government, so again, just using everything that's within the cultural understanding. Federal government's the highest authority. The federal city is known as the Masonic City, named after a secret society. So the highest authority is literally associated with secrecy. If it's at the highest authority, could it not be at lower levels authority? Because I've been pointing out how this whole nation, like every police station, is right next to the Masonic Lodge. And if you understand the Masons are a Jesuit creation, you start to see how the network and the hierarchy works and the compartmentalization. So people are like, it was the Masons. No, it's the Jesuits. No, they're under the same umbrella. But, yeah, just an authority that just never gets you the truth. The truth is buried in secrecy. You get excuses. You get the same type of things. No explanation. Cause of death, an autopsy report, sometimes a year later after everyone had already forgotten. They don't care. It doesn't even make sense. Let me look up his page on Football Reference real quick. Let's check out. They didn't give us his NFL stats, so I just want to look him up. Or this isn't the same guy. Whoops. He's been out of the league since 2013. Today, the news is breaking for a lot of... I mean, it did break earlier, we saw, but today, a lot of people are hearing about 74 days after his birthday. They haven't updated this yet. They'll go back and fix this eventually, and they'll show his date of death and that he died 72 days after his birthday, but they don't have it yet, so it shows that today is 74 days after his September 2nd birthday. No touchdowns in the NFL. He got in 8 games wearing the number 19. 19 is the 8th prime. Kansas City also has the Gematria 67, the 19th prime. Joe Montana wore 19 with the Chiefs. They used him as a kick returner. Doesn't look like he had any other stats. Or wait, hold on. Nope. As a receiver, he made it in... As a receiver, he had 12 targets and 6 receptions. No touchdowns. So yeah, not a lot of an NFL career, which I guess is why the article focused on his college career. But here, let's look at one more thing. Let's look at how it lined up with old Mahomes, because there's been a lot of bodies connected to Mahomes over the years, including his fiance's dad. Well, now they're married. But Mahomes has the September 17th birthday, which is also the NFL's birthday, and it's also the Constitution's birthday. And we've talked about where football and government equal 133, like president and White House, and why it matters that the Constitution was born. Or, yeah, exactly 133 years before the NFL. So from Mahomes' birthday to his death is 57 days later, or his 58th day of his age. Remember, he was part of the 77th NFL draft. Secret Society's got that 58 and 77. Freemasonry has that 58 in that same cipher. Scottish Rite's 57. American football is credited to a Scottish Rite Freemason. But yeah, those aren't the most crucial points. The way it syncs up with his draft, though, 72 days after his birthday, going down as a Fresno State Bulldog. And if you're new here, 72 is a demonic number too. Jesuit Order 72, there's 72 demons in the Goetia. These are the type of things the Jesuits study because they're into the occult. 72 names of God in Kabbalah, where this whole thing of letters and numbers comes from. The sun moves 1 degree on the astrological wheel every 72 years. And he died on a Monday. Well, I guess dying on a Monday. Funny enough, the only day of the week that has a 72 connection is Monday. Died on a Monday, 72 days after his birthday. So yeah, beast. All of this for the beast. Again, you don't have to be a religious person, but I really do think everyone should at least read parts of the Bible and just think about some of the stories. Because again, it's good to have the knowledge when you realize that the cabal who rules over you, they're using the Bible like a playbook. They're using the terminology, the numbers, all of it. The word Christian is 47, just like beast. A lot of Christians, they think they're good people, but they got the beast in them for real. And but again, it is the religion that also teaches about this. But yeah, it's just, I mean, Christian teachings, like traditional Christians are, you shouldn't be about the material world. You should be about a life of service and doing right by other people and helping people in need. And you don't see a lot of that in society. You see a lot in society, people just want to enjoy life, go out and have fun, have nice things, feel pleasure. And that's a part of life too. It's not like you're supposed to totally reject all that, but you're supposed to have like a life of balance. You're enjoying life, doing the right things. Like, you don't have a lot of people doing the right things in our society. You have a lot of people that just want to be entertainers and they want to be stars themselves. And I mean, how many of us grew up wanting to be a sports star or something else like that? Famous, rich person. How many of us had parents that would bring that up and have aspirations for us? If you work hard, you can be a movie star, star athlete, like this type of thing. I mean, this is the system we're living in. These are the ideas we're promoting. These are the people we're chasing to be like, but we're not getting to see the dark component behind this whole industry. The one that keep generating stories like this. A dead 35-year-old athlete. I mean, the last guy who should be dying at 35. The cause of death has not been released publicly. But hey, we're putting the story out there. Man, you know what? Just even stuff like this. Like, look at what Yahoo Sports chooses for their photo. Do you think, I mean, out of all the images that should be out there, this man, do you think they could have found him going up against any other player other than 38? I mean, that's just dawning on me that the defensive player is number 38 that he's given the stiff arm to. I mean, come on, man. Death. We've seen this so many times. Every year, August 3rd, March 8th, I'm just talking about just the most blatant 38s ever. I mean, we talked about 38. We already did 38. 38 days after Kim's birthday, the magazine cover. And also Virgil Abloh's passing. This guy just gets in the chat and just spams the same false thing every time. Every day he just gets on and says Zach went 5-9 yesterday. No, actually we had a good winning day yesterday. Thank you, troll. You can keep spamming the same thing every day. It just makes you a bad person. All right. Yeah, you guys, sometimes it's a good idea to just watch the video and not even participate in the chat because all the drama queens and trolls and instigators are always in the chat just trying to start up a side conversation. But thank you for getting the books. I appreciate it. Shout out to Glam Gazingo. He's got the books. That's a great way to support the work, help get the knowledge out there. Again, if you just search my name, you guys, Zachary K. Hubbard, it should pull up, that I got books out there, and it's even on that, like the Amazon's a bunch of trees, and Amazon, the book company, just now they got boxes everywhere chopping down trees galore. But yeah, my book's even on there. It's in other places too. You don't have to buy it here. Amazon jacked the price way up. Let me see what other stores are selling it for now. I can't control the price of my book because I'm self-published. The way it works, if you want to like get in the chain, well, maybe there's other ways to do it, but like I paid BookBaby to publish my book, and then they handle all this stuff, and I get a teeny tiny little commission, which I feel like it's been a sick joke ever since the third month of my payout. Anyway, but at least the work's out there. At least the work's out there. And just having the book, you might show it to somebody, they might come across it again. The best way to support the knowledge is to get it out there. And it's good to have things in print these days. So my book, Number Games, I feel like that's one you want in print. But yeah, thank you to everyone who ever has bought the book. And if you just wanted it as an ebook, you can just get it for way less at my website, GematriaEffect.news. And if you don't have any money and you want to read the books, you can also download them for free. Here's the shortcut to do it. Just type in Zachary K. Hubbard in a search engine and then type in Subscribe Star. And you should get this link right here on Gematria Effect News. Just click that and then click Subscribe Star. And then here, I'll put this link in the chat. But you can download the books for free. They come down as PDFs. You can read them in any ebook reader, but they're PDFs. If you don't have a PDF reader, just download a free PDF reader from Adobe. It doesn't cost anything. If you're downloading a version that costs money, you're not downloading the free version. A free version is all you need. And you should have a PDF reader because there are a lot of PDFs on the web and documents if you're a researcher. But yeah, here, I'll throw that in the chat. You guys want to download the books for free? Boom, that's the link. So. Okay. I think we got it all. In Gaza, in the witching hour, in the middle of the night, they attacked the hospital. They said that there's an armory under there. And yesterday, the media put out an image of like 5 AK-47s on cement. And supposedly that was the armory under the hospital for why they have to blow up the latest hospital. And notice that's been the going theme, that these hospitals keep getting destroyed. And then there's finger pointing about who really did it. It's funny that now we're a few weeks into the story, and now it's like it's legitimately in your face that Israel's attacking the hospital because they said there's an armory under it. And people still don't get it. They again, what's it say? What's it say in Revelation? How did we predict this war in Israel the day Netanyahu came back again? Wasn't it because we were aware of these verses in Revelation 3? Well, that's again, it's amazing how much gematria overlap there is with this verse and Israel. Here. Synagogue of Satan, 64. Israel, 64. Zion, 64. 64 spaces on the chessboard. But anyway, it goes, to the angel of the church in Philadelphia write, these are the words of him who is holy and true, who holds the key of David. What he opens, no one can shut, and what he shuts, no one can open. I know your deeds. See, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. I know that you have little strength, yet you have kept my word and have not denied my name. I will make those who are of the synagogue of Satan, who claim to be Jews, though they are not, but are liars, I will make them come and fall down at your feet and acknowledge that I have loved you. Again, that's the New International Version wording, but all versions talk about the synagogue of Satan, who are liars. And if you throw a "the" in front of it, remember, it gets even more interesting. The synagogue of Satan's 223, just like how the letter's written to the Church of Philadelphia 223, just like how they've been doing the rituals with the Catholic guy who claimed to be a Jew but was not, whose name equals 223. What's George Santos' birth name again? George Santos, or hold on. I just got it here. I'll just pull up the post. Anthony DeVolder or something. Anthony DeVolder. Look at this. Anthony DeVolder. George Santos, the politician who claimed to be a Jew but was not, who was a big thing at the beginning of the year and the end of last year. 223 in the same cipher. You know what I mean? At the same time, we predicted on December 29th, we said, watch, they're going to be doing this George Santos tribute to the Synagogue of Satan throughout 2023. They hadn't even put out his name as Anthony DeVolder yet. But we said Israel's war is going to be popping off the day Netanyahu came back. And again, just one lie after the next to get us here. One ritual after the next, all by the biblical numbers. So, again, for all the people who are atheist or agnostic or just don't know what to think, again, just actually read that Bible and pay attention to what's going on in the world. And again, the argument over here is that it's not God fulfilling prophecy. It's these 6 psychopaths using the Bible as a playbook to mock the world. Again, they've used that book to prepare the minds of untolds of millions of Christians that the world should end in cataclysm at the time of the return of Jesus. You got all kinds of people that think that's what's playing out right now. And what's really playing out right now is psychopaths who just want more and more power and control, and who love to play people for fools and lead them astray and get them to participate in needless wars. It's an old trick, you guys. They couldn't get anyone to fight in World War I until they put in all the U.S. papers that Kaiser Wilhelm of Germany was Satan. That's what they published in the papers, that Kaiser Wilhelm was literally Satan on earth, and the U.S. then was a very predominantly Christian nation, and it made a lot of people sign up for the war and go participate in World War I. As Christians, they didn't want to fight until they found out it was Satan. Well, at least they were told by the papers. Papers want to go back and recant. It wouldn't work in today's society because now there's not enough people that are believers or down for the cause like that. So now they do it in a different way. Now they bring you up on video games, teaching you to hate Muslim people, and video game characters that are brown with turbans on their head that say Allahu Akbar, and you smoke them with whatever weapon you chose for your character. 2 decades of movies and news programming. And more than that, it's more than 2 decades. I mean, it was a decade before 9/11 happened. They're doing 90s movies about bad Arabs. What's the one with the Arnold Schwarzenegger where he's killing all the Arabs? There's a lot of movies like that. But, yeah. Kim Kardashian, Man of the Year. If you got here late, that's where we began, and then we spiral out into everything else that this cabal is doing besides just that headline. They got Andre 3000 on the cover of that magazine. Interesting. They're doing we covered the ritual they're doing with Andre 3000 just yesterday. All right, one more time. I'll post the. Oh shoot, I got rid of it. What happened? All right, one more time. There. Post the link for where you can download the books if you want to read them. But thank you again to everyone who hits the like and the share. And hopefully the people on the other Gematria Effect News channels know that they are suspended and will make their way over here to see the content. And realize, you guys, if I get suspended here, you also won't hear from me here. Again, not that long ago, I still had 5 channels operating. I'm down to 3, but 3... I really only have 1 right now because 2 are suspended. So, again, it feels like we might be starting over from ground zero again real soon. Might have to just be back to 1 channel with a brand new one. Remember to search. If you guys don't know how to find your favorite channels when they get deleted, what you got to do is you got to search for the channel, and then you got to go to the filter on the search, and you got to click sort by date. That's been the hack for about the last 3 years to find your favorite channel once it gets deleted, because I'm sure you've all been there before where channel gets deleted and you search for it and nothing comes up. It's like everything's coming up but what you search for. But then if you just change the filter to sort by date, magically what you were looking for is right there. So, yeah, you guys might need to know that tactic sooner than later. I don't think I deleted the Tupac Gematria video. It was probably just on a different Gematria Effect News channel than the one you looked at. Almost every video is on Gematria Effect News 25. Just go search there for it. Cover copper flag. What's copper flag? I don't know what that is. Oh, a basketball player. Cooper flag. Okay, maybe I'll cover that another time. I don't know if I am going to do TFR tonight. I don't know if I am. I want to. The gentleman who called in yesterday about Daniel, maybe if he reaches out to me and wants to do a stream on Daniel, I'll just do a separate stream. I almost just want to boycott TFR until they fix the station. I hate doing the show the way it is. It's annoying. I'm like, what's the game that's going on right now? Why don't you guys fix the network? It's annoying with the faulty sound each week, and then some weeks the show doesn't even upload or get archived. So, yeah, and again, just since Sweet Lady got harassed a few times in recent weeks because somehow the psychopaths figured out her name and where she works, I just haven't been doing that's why I stopped doing the Monday show, unfortunately. When that happened to her at work, she really wanted me to quit again, and we've been nurturing our way back to why we got to keep doing the work and not let the trolls and the harassers knock us from our path. But anyway, I might just spend time with Sweet Lady tonight. The main channels are suspended. Not as many people will watch it. If I do the stream on YouTube, the only channel I have to do it's Gematria Effect Sports. So many times when we've gotten suspended, it's right after a TFR episode. Maybe just giving the censorship Nazis one more reason to suspend every channel right now at this moment. So this might just have to serve as today's TFR episode. It's not a bad broadcast, and yeah, I might still do TFR yet anyway. We'll see. We'll play it by ear, but maybe not. Yeah, this is right. Fear is what they're always pushing. Fear is what they're always pushing. Oh boy, now we got the new footage of the again, you guys, it doesn't matter what footage is put out for this attack. It doesn't matter. What matters to understand is why the attack happened the day it did, and you can see right through the ritual if you understand this Kabbalistic code of letters and numbers. Again, the English language, the Gregorian calendar are a system that were put out into the world in the 16th century, which are being used every day for world domination. The attack happened exactly 282 days after Netanyahu came back, who wanted war, and Benjamin Netanyahu equals 282 in Gematria. And you could also say it happened on his 283rd day of being back in office, and the official title for that attack on the concert, however, whatever the name of the title is again, is 283. And there's more to that as well, because it's the 61st prime, and Netanyahu declared war on 61 date numerology, and that's the number that goes back to God and sacred geometry, where geometry is gematria and language. Again, if you guys missed if you missed TFR tonight, if I don't do it, I'm sure there's lots of videos to get caught up on, and there's a lot of things that you probably haven't seen that I've covered with Israel. But most of the videos are on Gematria Effect News 25. There's a lot of information that people should know about what's going on in Israel, and definitely go back and watch the video on Gematria Effect News 22 that's from December 29th, 2022, the day that we predicted why there would be war in Israel and why it would probably be around the time Yael turned 322 years old. And the war started. The war was declared by Israel literally the day before Yael's 322nd birthday. I mean, just think about that. And we know why. 322, the Cabal, Kabbalah, the Illuminati, the history, Skull and Bones, Templars, Jerusalem. Again, it's just, you learn the numbers, you see how they draw the line through history, how they connect the dots. Plane turns back to JFK after horse escapes on board. I don't even want. I mean, you start looking at stuff like that. It's today leaves 46 days left in the year, right? JFK was killed at age 46. I'll do one more decode before we get off, just in case I don't do TFR tonight. Today leaves 46 days left in the year. We got a story about JFK, you guys, and a horse. And I'm sure there's some joke with the horse that's going over my head right now, but. Maybe it has to do with the mob and Goodfellas, or not Goodfellas, The Godfather. Infamous scene with the horse, the prize horse in bed, its head. But JFK, number 35, assassinated age 46. Joe Biden inaugurated on the Pope's 35th day of his age, elected number 46, 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday. Again, 145 more chapters in the Catholic Old Testament. The war in Israel began on Putin's 71st birthday, 71 days before the Pope's. All these numbers used again and again in Catholic rituals. JFK, the first Catholic, killed at age 46. And his brother who was killed, RFK, knows how he's got the 46-35 thing going on too. But horse escapes on a plane. I mean, I've just never heard a story like this. A Boeing 747 en route from New York to JFK, Liège, Belgium, was forced to turn around on November 9th. Okay, so they give us the story today, but it actually happened November 9th. Here, let me see if anybody else had this story before today. JFK, horse, plane. AP broke it today. So yeah, this is today's news, even though it happened 6 days ago. They got to save it for the day, leaving 46 days left in the year. That's what, it's just like, it blows me away that people don't understand the ritualism to the propaganda that's meant to mind control us. It's amazing to me that people don't want to get that and see how they're being mind controlled. It's the Mark Twain quote. It's easier to fool people than convince them they've been fooled. All right, again, a Boeing 747 en route from New York, JFK, to Liège, Belgium, was forced to turn around on November 9th after a horse got loose in the cargo hold. November 9th is the anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. JFK did give a speech at the Berlin Wall. It's considered one of his weirdest moments in history. Go back and look at that. The cargo flight operated by charter airline. Again, November 9th is the day the Berlin Wall fell, if I didn't make that clear. The cargo flight operated by charter airline Air Atlanta, Icelandic, had climbed to around 31,000 feet when the crew contacted air traffic control to Boston, JFK's from Massachusetts, to report that the horse had escaped from its stall. We don't have a problem flying-wise, one of the pilots said in a video reconstruction by YouTube channel You Can See ATC, but we cannot get the horse back secured. In the recordings, air traffic control can be heard granting the pilot's request to return to JFK Airport, and because the plane was too heavy to dump 20 tons of fuel east of Nantucket. Crazy. 20 tons of fuel? Is that like, is that a ton that weighs 2,000 pounds? I need to learn more about jet fuel. Sounds like an awful lot of fuel. The pilot also asked for a veterinarian to meet the plane upon landing because we have a horse in difficulty. Yeah, I imagine it would fall and hurt itself. Horses, you gotta be careful with their legs. A representative from Air Atlanta, but did the story even happen is the other question. I know that there's something to the horse that I'm not getting. It landed on the morning of November 10th. Okay. But yeah, just the fact that they just got to bring up JFK on the day leaving 46 days left in the year. It could also be, you know, that they want to, it's just like the way the media is, right? The people, the controllers, it's AP who breaks it, everyone syndicates it, Reuters will also break it, it'll get syndicated. It's like, so only a few sources are putting out the news in the ritualistic stuff. But it's like they want a tribute to JFK on this day, so maybe they just look back through the last week and they're like, I think this is an interesting story. This is a story that people will click on. And for whatever reason, you know, they just got to pay tribute to the number, to the date. We're approaching the JFK assassin anniversary. We're in the time of number 46, who has parallels to JFK and RFK. If you didn't know, Biden has the same birthday as RFK, which is November 20th. I don't think there's really anything I'm missing with horse, so... If you guys didn't know, though, JFK assassination, what that moment goes down in history, the 187, it happened in the 187th year of the nation's existence. And also Sumerian gematria is just where you multiply the alphabetic order times 6. And notice how JFK assassination becomes 1122, like the date it happened, November 22nd in the 187th year. 187, number important to the Masons and the Jesuits and the nation's capital and the Holy Roman Empire and Skull and Bones, and George H.W. Bush was there that day. Remember Skull and Bones? But, yeah, 187 homicide code. JFK assassination. Infamous assassination. Anytime you hear his name, you think of the death. A scare on a plane, you think of death. I don't know. Maybe somehow, maybe my mind's not like unlike other people's. You think about the horse. It's just like horse, Kennedy, gangsters. Again, the Kennedys have a connection with gangsters because... they were a bootlegging family. Technically, bootleggers were gangsters in Prohibition. And, again, they're a Catholic family, like gangsters are Catholic. And Kennedy equals 33, like alcohol, the year Prohibition ended. And someday the Prohibition will end when they really take us into the full-blown Agenda 2030. You'll own nothing and be happy. You'll own nothing and be happy, but we'll have the dankiest weed and the greatest virtual reality. As you eat your blue slop or red slop, your choice per day. It's our utopia for you. Yeah, it's like these rich psychopaths. They're just so bored. They're like, let's see if we can get all of humanity to live in a fish jar. It's like they're literally gathering at the Bilderberg conference to see, what can we do to them this year? Can we get them to move into a fishbowl? I think we can. Corona 8.0. The only safety is the fishbowl. Made by Elon Musk, your clear, transparent house of glass. Okay, yeah. Anyway, that's enough for now, you guys. One ritual after the next. Learn your numbers. All of you guys who dedicate your time to trying to denounce this work and saying it's all BS, it's all fraud, shame on all of you. Shame on all of you. You must like the plan. You must be QAnon for real. Sit back and trust the plan. You must want the meta, the Agenda 2030, the loss of rights and liberties, the loss of being a human being. They just want everybody living with their screen, connected to their screen. AI doing their daily tasks for them. And don't forget how they got rid of the Georgia Guidestones. Don't forget how they got rid of the Georgia Guidestones in a big ritual on George Herbert Walker Bush's 76th birthday on 7/6. Or George Walker Bush, not Herbert, the son, number 43. Knocked out the Georgia Guidestones on his 76th birthday on 7/6, 201 days after the Pope's birthday. That's the thing, too, about the world they have planned. They got it planned for a lot less people living here. And you see how people are just less and less useful. What do we need realtors for? We got online AI realtor things that you can sign up for on the web. Just everything's getting more automated. Everything. Less need for people. Less cashiers at the grocery store. Way more self-checkout. Pretty soon they won't even need self-checkout. Amazon already figured out the system where it's just like scanning you at all times and knows your bill. And see, they haven't gone that way yet. It's going to be like that. Here's how the future is going to be, if you guys don't know it yet. They're not going to let you in the store if the cameras can't recognize your face and you're not in the system. The system will be like this thing that exists. All the stores will be on the camera network, the system. If you come in and your face isn't recognized, they'll probably be dispatched. Get this person out of here. He's not a member of the system. Maybe get removed from the system. But that's how, the Amazon already showed how you can just do the shopping. You put everything in a bag, everything's scanning, keeping track, sensors everywhere. You go out the door, it knows exactly what you bought, what the total bill is. And just imagine the digital world where it's like you come in, it scanned your face, it knows your credit. You're walking out the door with your bags full. It already scanned everything. It knows exactly what you got. It kept track of it through the whole store, the whole process. That's where we are now with the technology, the computers, the cameras, the clarity. In a way, like if you're just like so many people's mentality be like, well, I don't care because I just go by the rules, like I steal groceries anyway, and it makes it really easy. I'm in and out of the store faster than ever. I never have to wait in line. That's how people keep going along with stuff, but they don't think about the consequence. Like, yeah, but what about the job that was lost? Now there's one less. Why do you think there's more homeless people on the street? Isn't it funny how in all the big tech cities through the West Coast is where the worst homelessness is? Talk about predictive programming. And again, it's because all these big tech companies, if you guys don't know why there's so much homelessness in all the big tech cities, it's because in the last 15 years or so, big tech's really taken over, and they brought in a lot of new jobs that pay hundreds of thousands of dollars, which sounds like a good thing. But what it did is it shifted economies so fast. So like in Seattle, what happened, like in the early, like by around 2015, the years before that, what happened in that period of time is everything just skyrocketed in cost because everyone who realized, like the landlords were like, you know what? I got to boost my rent way up because now everybody that's here makes $300,000 a year and works at Amazon or Microsoft or Google or whatever. The average salary in my neighborhood is about $200,000. A lot of people making $300,000. Bottom end people around here making about $100,000. A lot of people right in the middle. All this money's around here. So all of a sudden, people are renting the apartment for $1,000, but now it just jumped up to $2,000 a month, just like that. Boom, double. All of a sudden, the restaurant that wasn't that bad, you're realizing all the restaurants are charging more now. You can't afford to go out and eat. You can't afford rent. You can't afford anything. Just prices skyrocketed on everything. Parking all of a sudden is more. Everything is more. And then next thing you know, people can't afford to live where they live. And then they're can't afford the rent. They're out of the house. They're homeless. It's a time where people are down and out, and heavy addictive drugs are on the street at the time too. When people are down and out, all right, I'll try that fentanyl. Then they don't realize they're instantly an addict. And now there's even more reasons they become homeless. They're addicted to drugs. They can't afford to live there. Again, this is what's happening to society. And it's not by accident. It's not by accident. The technocracy. Again, the people who've ruled over us have always been the technological experts. And Again, the Bible is technology, guys. If you don't realize that, the Bible was the technology of the time, this amazing printed book to get out there and put the ideas in society that they wanted. Like, it's, Jesus condoned slavery. It's all in the New Testament, you know? The Bible condones slavery. Why is that in there? You really think God said those words about slavery and obey your master and all that? Treat your master like you would treat God? That's what the rulers wrote, and that's how they want it. Obey them like you would obey God. Did they tell you to go get a jab? Did they tell you to go get a jab? Okay, you better obey them or there's going to be some consequences. Did they tell you to put a mask on? Did they tell you to do this? Did they tell you to put a yellow ribbon on your car? Did they tell you to give up your child for the military because there's a war to fight against a man in a cave? Better obey master. The Bible said so. But, yeah, anyway. And this right now, this whole thing going on is gross. You better worship Israel, and in between the breaks of the nonstop coverage of why you better worship Israel, you better also donate to that 1-800 number and send Israel some more money. Don't dare question what Israel's doing in Gaza right now. Probably the worst place to live in the world, Gaza. It's been that way for a long time, and just getting even more abused. It's like what our news media is asking us right now is like if we divide up all the nations of the world as human beings, Gaza, there's some of the, again, if America's a person and Canada's a person and Mexico's a person and Germany's a person and England's a person and France is a person and Zimbabwe, all these different places are people. All these nations all over the world. Thailand's a person. There's a scale of like where it's the best to be, I don't think anyone's going to argue that one of the people, if you will, or nation that's getting it the worst is Gaza in Israel, territory in this nation. And you could argue it's the most abused. And now it's getting even more abused. Deadly abuse. And literally our news media is like acting like you're kind of a bad person if you want that abuse to stop. You're an anti-Semite, in fact, if you want to stop that abuse. You're anti-Semitic if you want to stop that abuse in that nation. Yeah, we do got to attack hospitals. Didn't you see the concrete image we put out with the 5 AK-47s on it last night? That's the armory under there. I mean, if you don't go along with this, you're a bad person. If you don't get a Pfizer jab, you're a bad person. If you don't believe a man in a cave did 9/11, you're a bad person. If you smoke weed for a long time, you're a really bad person. Media always did ads when I was growing up about how bad weed was. And it's like, wait a minute, when you smoke weed, like, this isn't bad. It can be bad. All things can be good and bad. But, man, you might just have the most thoughtful, creative ideas you ever had the first time you smoke weed. You might also get too paranoid and smoke too much, and if you did it while you're drinking, you might have the worst time in your life. But when used the right way, it can be a beautiful thing. And this government, for decades, wanted to throw people in cages for using it and tell you it would turn you into a serial killer. And somehow people keep coming back to this media for, the authority to get their opinion. When's their opinion ever been right about anything? Were they right about the pandemic? I know they're definitely not right about this. I know my analogy was just right about the most abused children on earth getting abused really bad right now, and how the media makes it seem like you're a bad person if you say that's... Did you see these protesters asking for the bombing of Gaza to stop? Those are anti-Semites. Somebody should cut the funding to those people. I mean, you're hearing this shit on TV right now. Because those people don't want other people to get killed, they're bad people? What kind of nation is this? And again, it's been the same thing the whole time I've been here. Nothing changed. Nothing's actually changed. Sometimes it's more obvious what this nation is than others. But seemingly somehow it's never obvious enough. It's never obvious enough to the average person to wake up and snap out of it. Like, people that are telling us what to do and think are some bad people. They're some evil people, and they're trying to make your mind agree with their evil thoughts and ideas and agendas. All right. Congrats again to Kim for Man of the Year. We'll leave it right there, Truth Seeker. And until next time.